it was a piece that she needed confidence, and the confidence would actually lead to having healthy boundaries. So for her, she's looking at, okay, what if I actually took one item, researched it, and presented it inside of the area of like the students and the teachers? I don't know all the details inside of like her venue and her work aspect. She's like, if I did that, I would show up with confidence and I would have these boundaries because I'd be strong showing up for who I actually am. So the reason why I'm asking these questions to try to extrapolate different aspects of it is because there's not really a clear, quantifiable, drawn line of like, I have boundaries and they're enforced and I don't. Right. So we have to be able to see how it actually is fleshed out in your life. And when we can see how it's fleshed out in your life, then we can get a clear, quantifiable of like, oh, if I show up this way, then that would equal how I actually have boundaries and what that actually means for me. What are you hearing me say inside of all that?
Well, if I need to kind of dig deeper. I can't say that I lack confidence. I think wanting to keep my boundary, and let me be frank here. I'm talking about specifically with Mark, my husband. I have this fear constantly that I'm going to have to encounter his rage.
Okay.
I don't want to. I mean, I don't want to. I don't want this whole thing to escalate any more than it already has, right?
Is the fear about encountering his rage, or the fear is how you're going to react or respond to his rage?
Probably how I'm going to react and respond to his rage.
Okay. What does that look like? If he does rage out, how would you typically respond?
Historically, Ben, I would shut down and shut up. And I would just let it go on. Now, I feel like I'll be dialing up and, getting a restraining order, and I don't want it to get there.
Okay. So a piece of that is also trying to look and just see, okay, if this is the piece that you don't want, then trying to get an idea of what you do want and then starting to build a plan towards that. I'm not saying your impossible should be have a restraining order, right? But it could be of how you respond based on the situation, right? It could be like, hey, I want to show up this way. This is how I want to live and act, which would encompass boundaries, but it also might talk through like the reaction or the response or not shutting down. And then we have to build ways to be able to assess that and quantify it so that we can make sure that you actually know without a shadow of a doubt that you've hit it.
That one's,
What are you hearing?
I'll keep working. I am